Out of the nearly 5,000 players in NBA history, only 55 have scored over 20,000 points. And then there's LeBron James, who scored over 40,000. But one of the craziest facts about LeBron is that he's now faced over 35% of all players in NBA history, including 10 father-son duos.
When you're 39 in your 20th year, and then like half your life is in the league, and then you played against like 40% of the players that's ever played in the league, it's just like that longevity has to mean something.
James has played more minutes than anyone ever, and still, despite being nearly 40 years old, he's still one of the best players in the league. There have been NBA players who are in the same echelon in terms of jumping ability, and there have been guys who were just as good as Bron at reading the game and making plays for others. But there hasn't been anyone who's been as physically dominant and as smart as LeBron James. And that's why many consider him the greatest player of all time.
The day I can't give the game everything on the floor is the day I'll be done. Lucky for you guys, that day is not today.
And if it's his basketball talents that are so rare, then it's his longevity that's even rarer. Basketball players of LeBron's age generally have honorary roles in teams. They book cruises around the world and start podcasts because Father Time is undefeated, except maybe when it comes to James, who is kicking ass at the age of 39.
I mean, for me, I'm trying to push the limit, and I don't know. I hope I don't know. I hope I never see it.
LeBron James has now scored more points than every other player in their 21st season combined. James had 1,822 points in year 21, while all the others scored 1,230 points altogether. In a February game against the Clippers, Bron outscored the whole Clippers team 19-16 in the fourth quarter, once again proving his clutch factor and never back down mentality. This marked the 18th time in his career that James has outscored the entire opposing team in the fourth quarter. And no other active player has done that more than 3 times. But to factor in that this man is doing this in his 21st season is mesmerizing.
Step back, 3 on the way, bottom! LeBron James with 5 threes!
And that's just the tip of the iceberg of LeBron's crazy accomplishments this year. On January 27th against the Warriors, LeBron became the 17th player in NBA history to record a 30-20-10 game.
Final seconds, James. It's good at the buzzer.
Finishing with 36 points and 20 assists, which was his career high. In the in-season tournament semifinal against the Pelicans, James recorded the quickest 30-point game in Lakers history when he finished the game with 30 points, 5 rebounds, and 8 assists in just 23 minutes of play.
LeBron the other way. Oh my gosh.
And on December 6th, he became the first player to record 30-point games 20-plus years apart, and is now close to catching Jordan for most 30-point games ever. MJ has scored 30-plus in 562 career games, and LeBron is currently at 554 30-point games. But when you include the playoffs, Jordan has 671 games with 30 points or more, and James has now surpassed him and has 674 30-point games. But when it comes to scoring in double figures, LeBron passed Jordan a long time ago. MJ previously held this record with 886 games with at least 10 points, but Bron's streak in double-figure scoring is now standing at more than 1,200 games. The last time that James failed to reach 10 points in a regular season game dates back to January of 2007. To illustrate how long ago that was, the first iPhone hadn't come out yet. MySpace was the most popular social media network, and Victor Wembanyama had just turned 3. Out of nearly 1,500 regular season games that LeBron has played so far, he scored less than 10 points on only 8 occasions. That's 1/2 of 1% of the time. The King is also an all-time leader in scoring 20 points or more, with 1,236 such games. But not only has LeBron kept scoring at the same pace, in some areas, he's still improving, even in his 21st year. In the 2024 season, the King is averaging 41% shooting for 3, which is the best mark in his career, and his overall efficiency is well above his career average.
LeBron logo!
With a 60% effective field goal percentage, 39-year-old LeBron is near the top of the league, which is amazing considering that Jordan had a 42% effective field goal percentage at the age of 39. In his 6 years as a Laker, the King averages nearly 8 points per game in the fourth quarter and 7.25 points in the fourth for his career, which ranks him as the best fourth quarter scorer ever.
LeBron James has the most clutch time points ever. He's got over 2,600. The only other player with over 2,000 clutch time points is Kobe. LeBron James has 5 game-winning buzzer beaters in the playoffs, the most ever in NBA history.
In the 2024 season, James led the entire NBA in points and made field goals in the fourth quarter. And somehow, people will still say that LeBron isn't clutch.
James is fouled and one. LeBron!
Also, while LeBron might not be able to dunk over everybody as he did in his prime, how the hell is he still in the top 5 in the NBA in fast break points in 2024?
AD, LeBron drained down the track. Look out!
I just feel it. I said, yeah, it's 20 years and got to me tonight. Ain't gonna be good tonight. And then I get out on the floor and I'm running past 21-year-olds, jumping higher than 23-year-olds. I feel real good on how I'm playing the game. Not only physically, but more importantly, just like mentally.
It's crazy that Bron still keeps this high level of production when you realize he's played 56,000 minutes in the regular season. And if we count the playoffs, that number rises to 68,000. That's 10,000 more minutes than Kobe and 20,000 more than MJ.
Are you tired?
No, not really.
Are you sure you're the oldest player in the league?
Nah, I don't think so. I don't feel like it. I go out there and try to compete and be young.
If you count that LeBron also played in 3 Olympic Games and 1 World Cup, he's now logged over 70,000 minutes of pro basketball. By far the greatest amount of time for any player in history.
I think I saw it the other day. I think I have like 70,000 minutes. I was explaining to my wife the other day. She asked me, how am I feeling when I came home after a game? Just imagine buying a 2003 Escalade and it's 2024 and you never changed the tires. So rub my feet, please.
The mileage on LeBron's odometer is impressive, but what's even more ridiculous is that he shows no signs of slowing down. His athleticism is still jaw-dropping, and his body is still in perfect shape.
As my athleticism goes down a little bit, I knew I could expand my game. Well, early on, it was a lot of just speed and just jumping and then figuring it out. As you get smarter and smarter, you say, okay, well, teams now know that they can kind of key in on these things, so how can I make sure that I'm unguardable?
If you've watched James's games all these years, you must have witnessed his resistance to injury, which is also a great testament to his preparation and work ethic. While your average NBA player might have an ankle sprain and will usually have a 2-week layoff, LeBron will usually just untie his sneaker, then tighten it up and continue like nothing ever happened. That's just otherworldly.
Shoot from the corner, got it! He stays in the game and he drills a 3.
The King recently eclipsed 40,000 career points, together with over 11,000 rebounds and nearly 11,000 assists. If he continues to play and welcomes his son Bronny to the NBA, he could easily put the scoring record in another stratosphere and possibly even get to 45,000 points.
He got motivation to play longer because his kids.
That's his new motivation. I got to stay here another 2 years, get Bronny in this. And then I'm out of here.
To show just how ridiculous this is, if you add Bird's total career points to Magic Johnson's, they still don't have 40,000 points combined. LeBron could retire tomorrow, and his scoring record would still be safe for a very long time.
I think this is the greatest individual statistical record that you could have in the NBA. Scoring, the all-time scoring record. And this was a record that people said would never be broken.
For somebody to get to 40,000 points, they would need to average 24.5 points a game for 20 years, while never missing a single regular season game. Or they would have to average 30 for 20 years while playing 67 games a year. Any way you look at it, it seems impossible that his scoring record will be broken.
If you're saying me, there's no way because I'm not playing that much.
But with LeBron, it's somehow possible because he only missed 180 games in 21 seasons, which amounts to only 8 missed games every season.
His greatest ability, people have said this before, his greatest ability might be his availability. But availability at a high level over multiple decades.
In the playoffs, the King is even more durable, never missing a single postseason contest. And when you factor in that he averaged over 25 points per game for 20 years straight, that's the recipe to get to 40,000 points. However, if we combine all the points he scored in the postseason, James is now closing in on 50,000 career points, which is insane, especially when you know that only 15 other players even reached 30,000 points when you combine the playoffs and the regular season. When it comes to total rebounds, James now ranks 33rd all-time, but if he continues to play, he's on pace to crack the top 20 and surpass Dennis Rodman, arguably the greatest rebounder of all time. Assist-wise, LeBron eclipsed 11,000 dimes in the last regular season against the Pelicans, when he recorded a triple-double with 17 assists. too shy of his career high, but he'll likely stay in his current position at number 4 among the all-time assist leaders. LeBron has 4,500 assists more than any other player in the top 5 in points scored, and about 18,000 points more than any other player in the top 5 in assists. Since over 4,000 of his assists have been on three-pointers, he's assisted on more than 26,000 points for his teammates, which means LeBron has created more than 66,000 points when you combine his scoring and passing. And since he's not going to retire anytime soon, he'll soon get to over 70,000 total points created. No other player has even broken the 50,000 mark, which gives another perspective on how dominant and valuable LeBron has been.
If it was somebody else that was doing it, I would be looking at it just like you, Mike, and be like, that's insane.
James's 20-year stint as an All-Star is another record that will likely never be broken, as well as the record for the most All-NBA selections, with 19.
He's made All-NBA in more than a quarter of the seasons in the history of the league.
The next on the line are Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Kobe, and Tim Duncan, who all made All-NBA 15 times. And while the King will probably never reach Jordan and Kareem in terms of championships, on an individual level, he's got to be the greatest of all time.
I'll continue to have this battle with Father Time that everybody said has been undefeated. Trying to give him one loss.
Let us know if you agree in the comments, and keep watching nonstop.